Welcome to JsGrassFedGarden, and this is the ApartmentStead. What you're looking at is basically what used to be a bare dirt patch, and I roped it off because this gets mowed right here. So I roped it off so it wouldn't be weed whacker mode, and I put in some black raspberry. This is a white raspberry that I haven't gotten fruit off yet. It's its second season. And then some raspberries and blackberries, or black raspberries and blackberries. And then I also have some two different varieties of strawberries, and there's some tomatoes down there and some potatoes. We'll take a closer look at it. So thinking about moving this one up to that's allegedly the white raspberry or a golden raspberry. Second season. I bought it as a start for like $3 off this guy up the mountain. Haven't gotten fruit off of it yet because this is a very shaded area. So that is west and this is south and that's east. So the sun comes up through here, gets a little rising sun, and then it gets filtered sun through the trees at the end of the day. So there was just some like potatoes that I threw in there that weren't really doing so hot, and they sprouted, and I already harvested potatoes out of this earlier in the season. And then here were some tomatoes that I didn't get any fruit off of. Those were actually vines from back in May, and they had basically died back, but the root was like still alive on the ground because I had it in a soil block and I just rested the soil block on the ground. Long story short, I put the vines in this mound of fertile soil that I have there, and they all resprouted. And this one has a flower on it, but I don't think it'll get fruit. And these have seen a few frosts since they're in this edge of the trees. They're protected. And then with the potatoes, I'm just kind of letting it grow, using it as a cover crop. I don't know what the plan is or the vision is for this for next season, but I'm kind of just using it as a holding space for. This is the ever-bearing variety of strawberry that I have up at the garden. These were just a few plants that I wasn't able to fit in the garden, and now everything multiplied this season, so I don't know what I'm going to do with these. That's more of the potato that sprouted. And this is the June-bearing strawberry that I have up at the garden. So this is just like my little propagation station, and I had put, as you can see right here, I think these two are still alive. Try to save them. I'm going to get them up to the garden. But I put like 300 elderberry. Oh, there's one. There's one still alive. This one right here. The cutting is just all the way under the ground. It's like really deep in, but this one survived. The one elderberry. Yeah, I had put 300, no exaggeration, I counted them all, 300 elderberry cuttings into this area in the springtime and the wintertime, and I think it just gets too much shade. And there's some grapevines up there, wild grapes. It gets too much shade, and this is a very wet area. There's like a underground spring under this, allegedly. So yeah, that's why the elderberries didn't survive. Just one would keep dying after another. But right here, what I observed is that this little, like, it's right on the edge, quite literally. So straight down, right here gets the most sun, as opposed to where the leaves are, where the leaves mound is with all the sticks and the burnt wood building fertility, where this was all just a dirt spot in the ground. So the black raspberry and the blackberries, those do good in shade. Seems like these potatoes can grow in kind of shade. Tomatoes can grow in shade. Strawberries are enjoying the shade. So that's those are my observations, and this is my little propagation station. It's what I'm working with. So I was thinking, if I do any more elderberries for this season, I'll do them all along here, because that's where the ones that were surviving were. And then in the springtime we'll have black raspberries and some raspberries. Didn't get anything off the raspberries, but we got a whole bunch of black raspberries, and I didn't really even know the difference until this season, so that was cool to distinguish the two. Yeah, maybe you don't know the difference between the two, but the black raspberry is it's got this purple kind of one, and they come on in the springtime, and the way you could tell is that they're caps, because raspberries are like, you know, they have no, they're not solid all the way through like the blackberries are, and so they look like a blackberry, but it's a raspberry, so it's a black raspberry. And then you have the actual blackberry, and then the actual raspberry. So there's 3 different kinds. And then there's actually the red blackberry. So look that up if you're interested, stuff like that. This is a wildflower called I believe it's a Calico Aster, but that's another thing we got here too, is just some nice wildflowers, leaving that for the pollinators for their last final stretch before it gets real cold here. And that's what all these were too, were some goldenrod, and just a whole bunch of things got to grow up that didn't get to grow up in a very long time. So one love, wholeness. That is my little homestead propagation station. Maybe this will inspire you in some way. There's the bell. 6 o'clock. Well, we'll end it on that. Peace.